Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It is John the Ninja live in the dojo, aka the Dojang, aka the John the Ninja Studios, playing Zero on a rolling rock bottle cap. I think I did a pretty good job, and this is concert video number 15, which is great because I really have a lot of memories from this particular time period in my life. It is the Smashing Pumpkins, Marylin Manson at the BB&T Pavilion, and a little extra. I'll tell you after explaining what happened at that show. It was August 2nd, 2015, and me and my buddy Zack went to it. Now, what was happening at the time for the particular show was it wasn't selling well. Not that they're bad bands, not that people don't love them, but not many concerts during that 2015 summer were selling a lot of tickets. So what the distributors did was they were giving tickets away to the TV stations, the radio stations, all these people that would pretty much have people call in, try and get them, in hopes people would actually start buying the tickets. So what I was inclined to do, seeing a bunch of tickets on the table, like, maybe I should go. And I did. So I invited my buddy Zack, and he said sure. Now, what did happen was we were late. It was my fault. My grandmother wanted to see me. Now, why is that important? So my grandmother, my dad's mom, not my mom's mom, she used to just always drive me everywhere. My grandmother lives in Palmyra, New Jersey, or she lives with us now. But for a long time, she lived an hour away from me. And when I was a kid, I had no rides home from school, from sports. So what she would do is she would drive an hour down, pick me up, we'd go out to dinner, and then after dinner, which was probably like an hour, she would drop me off at my house, and then she would drive right back up to Palmyra almost every day for years. Years. And I'm so thankful for that. I was able to do sports because of her. What ended up happening was she had a stroke, I want to say 2010, and lost the whole right side of her body, lost the ability to function the right side. But her being as determined and stubborn as she was, she rehabbed herself back to where only her arm wouldn't work. And that woman was hell-bent on still living on her own at her own place. So we're talking throughout my whole entire college career, and then a couple years after, she was still living by herself. And I'm not saying living as in she's home alone and she can't do anything. I'm talking living as in her garden's still growing. She still makes her own dinner. She cooks and cleans. She is constantly outside doing yard work and furnishing the house and doing projects. Like, this woman was unstoppable. And, I just made it a point to always try and visit her. Always try and see her, make sure that she was good, if she needed me to go get groceries, etc. But if I said I was going to come, I had to go. And I told Zach, I was like, hey man, listen, before we go to the show, could we please go to my grandmother's and see her? He said, no problem, I'll meet you there. So I drive to her place, he drives to her place, we meet up, we talk to her for 45 minutes. This is her first time meeting Zach, one of my cross-country buddies, my blood brothers. I've been indoctrinated into the Hackett household. I'm now blood of my blood, Ayo. That is yes in Armenian. So I'm excited for her to meet him, and this is 2015. We've been friends since 2012, 2013 technically. I got a story for that too. So we end up pretty much enjoying the time with her. We go to the BB&T Pavilion. We're late. We missed the first 2 songs by Marylin Manson, but other than that, it's a smooth show. All I can recollect from his portion of the show was most of the people for Marylin Manson were out on the lawn. It's a shed we're dealing with. So most people were out on the lawn. There was almost nobody inside. And then, him just being Marylin Manson, the shock, Antichrist superstar. And I do remember somebody called him a faggot, and he got on them about that. He's like, oh, yeah, well, I'll fuck you up, and etc. But he had the right to. You shouldn't call somebody that. That hurts so deeply. So we saw Marylin Manson, saw Sweet Dreams, saw the Beautiful People, all those good songs. Zach was more of the Manson fan. He knew the songs and all that. So we were just talking about, cross country, our senior year of college, which was coming up, and just all the things we were going to do. And then, time for Smashing Pumpkins. All right. Now, it's starting to get dark outside, and we noticed there's a spot where, a lot of people in the past have snuck in. Hey Zach, we should definitely sneak in. Zach is not a goody two shoes, but he's a very, very stern individual. He takes some convincing. If you're gonna do it, you gotta egg him on. Like, hey man, let's do this. He doesn't fall to fear or peer pressure easily. So I was like, hey man, let's sneak in. You know, we came here for free. You know, what are they gonna do? Kick us out? You know, we'll just go back on the lawn, or you know, we'll leave. It's fine. He's like, okay, whatever. So that one spot, which no longer can you do this because they have tightened up security since. I've seen it. It sucks. I'm sorry about it, but I do remember like that one spot. I'm like, all right, we got to time this right. It was dark outside. We waited for all the lights to go off. So the first Pumpkin song plays. They come out, and we wait for it to end. Lights are out. We make our move. We get in. The people that see us, they don't smile. They just, and that was it. We picked our seats, and then boom, Bullet with Butterfly Wings comes on, and I was like, that is my song. I'm a happy camper. Forget everything else. Forget Zero, which at the time I didn't even know which one was Zero. Zack had to tell me because that was his favorite Smashing Pumpkins song. 1979? Let me check, ladies. This is ladies. See, I only care about the ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, 1979. They played Today. You know, it was a really good show. Drum and fife. I wasn't expecting it to be so alt rock, which is weird because they're known for that, but I've only ever heard the harder songs by them. So just sitting back and enjoying the music was great. And then after that, you know, we probably caught a couple of beers and then left. So let me go through that set list real quick for both bands. Marylin Manson, Deep Six, Disposable Heroes, Mob Scenes, No Relation, Third Day of a 7-Day Binge, Sweet Dreams, Angel with a Scabbed Rings, Personal Jesus, that's the Depeche Mode cover, The Dope Show, Rock is Dead, Lunchbox, Antichrist Superstar, The Beautiful People, and the encore was Coma White. And then Smashing Pumpkins with their original drummer back. That was when he came back. He's been back for a while. Even James Ihan has come back, but you know, it was a big deal back then. Cherub Rock was the first one. That's when we snuck in. Bullet with Butterfly Wings, Tonight, Ava Adore, Drum and Fife. Wow, they were really throwing them out there. They were pretty good start. 1 and L, We Are. The Everlasting Gaze was 7. 0 was 8. The Crying Tree of Mercy 9. Mayonnaise? I think it says mayonnaise or mayonnaise. That was 10. Disarm, which was acoustic. 12. Landslide, that's a Fleetwood Mac cover. Run to Me was 13. 1979 was 14. Through the Eyes of Rudy, number 15. 16. Stand Inside Your Love. 17. United States. 18 was Today. Beautiful, beautiful show. But it was the 2 days after that really sticks in my mind. And why is that? MMRs. Pierre Robert hosted an archive session with Billy Corgan and James Schroeder. An excellent man you need to know. If you don't know James Schroeder, know him now. Look him up. Think about giving him an air hug. Email him and ask him for a real hug. Such a nice guy, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But MMR does these archive sessions. If you're aware of them, they do them in the Preston and Steve Lounge. A bunch of people win tickets to go see them, and then a great artist comes and promotes either the new album, the tour, talks about it, and then plays for you. And, you know, it was all hands on deck for Billy Corgan. I just threw this very shirt on, threw it on that day, came to work like it was nothing else, and I was like, oh, today's the day. So me and the other intern, Ryan Shuttleworth, we were on our game. We were doing the deed. Whatever tasks we were given by upper management, we were on it. 1,000%. Killing it. They were salespeople, other interns from Preston and Steve show were there helping out. We were all cylinders, sinners, firing. And I remember the excitement behind it. Now, I've been there for Scott Weiland before he passed away from STP, Scott Weiland. And I was also there for Sublime with Rome. I ran the board. I board out with Rabbi for Sublime with Rome. That was really fun. So now here's another one. Another great rocker of all time. So, you know, me and Ryan are getting our jobs. And one of the jocks, Jackson, is going to be in the other room doing the show. So now everybody's in. And I say, Ryan, you know, we got this, blah, blah, blah. He's not even paying attention. He's doing his thing. And I'm like, ooh, damn, that sucks. But it was what it was. But I remember that because right after, Pancake called me. And he told me to go get them. Billy Corgan was supposed to be there soon, and he told me to go downstairs. Now I've been down this road. I know what I'm doing, so you know, get in the elevator. This time I get a key card. Why does that matter? Why does a key card matter? So when I started my internship, you needed a key card to get in the doors, unless the secretary was there. most of the time, she wasn't there when I got there early, and that's not her fault. I'm not blaming her for not letting me in. But I had a lot of times where if she wasn't there, because I would go to Donna all the time. I love Donna. I would borrow that key from her all the time to get in. But if she wasn't there, I was screwed. And there's usually a situation where I had to run from the studio, run into the hallway, go to another place, and then come back, and then the studio door is locked, and I got freaking 10, 30 seconds to get in. I'm like, knock, help me. I remember I used to have times where those doors are gone now. They did a whole remodeling, but I would stand. There was the bathroom, there was a door here, and there was a door over there. And I would stand there and I would listen. I would use my keen sense of listening skills. And I would hear a door open and I would run to one or the other and hope to catch the door in time. It's like, oh, hey, but the person wouldn't know. I was like, so annoying. God, I hated it. And man, I was so happy when I started working for Ben FM and they gave me a card to just walk in. I was just like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, these years validated. So here we are. I got a key card. I go downstairs and I got a warning like, hey, just be careful. Billy Corgan can, sometimes he's having a good day, sometimes he's having a bad day. You don't know what Billy you're gonna get. So just be on your toes, be respectful. Yes, sir. I got it. Go downstairs and I wait like 5 minutes. Not that long. Not long at all. And a van, not beaten up, but good like college van, something my cross country team would travel to meet in, pulls up. It was gray, and like a bloody TV show, like a movie, pulls in right in front of me. As soon as the car stops, boom, doors open up. Billy Corgan gets out, tall dude, real tall, and he just doesn't say a word to me, just spits, just looks at me. Let me guess, you like the album? You know what, sir? Yes, I did. How you doing? My name's John. With MMR, would you come upstairs with me? Yeah, sure, no problem. So him and James Schroeder, they get out with their manager, and we walk in. I hold the door for them. Get in. How you guys feeling today? I mean, pretty much the conversation was between James and Billy, and I was like, whatever. So I open the door for them. They walk in and they enter the green room, and not so much shock and all, like, oh, it's just normal. It's like, oh, hey, there's Billy Corgan. The people that needed to speak to him spoke to him. Some of the sales reps, hey, Mr. Corgan, how you doing? It's like, oh yeah, real chill, real relaxed. And I just, we were all just clowning around, BSing and doing our thing. And there's Billy Corgan. God to some. Inspiration to many. So, we're chilling, I'm getting them whatever they need, and James Schroeder, he needs to go to the bathroom. Now, the show was maybe 2-3 days ago, so, I walk him through, I was like, hey, man, so, how'd you like the show? And we probably talked for 5-10 minutes. It was not long. Guy made me fall in love with him. He was freaking fantastic. He's like, yeah, man, it was good. Did you go to that show? I was like, yeah, I was there. It was great. I enjoyed it. I noticed the crowd. He's like, yeah, it was a little weird. Some of the Manson crowd were out there, and then as soon as that show was over, they left, and then our crowd was inside. I was like, yeah, but other than that, we were just shooting to win about any and everything. And then we went back to the green room. He started talking again, and they were doing the tests, the sound checks inside, and I do remember Billy Corgan. He's there, and he's like, yeah, guys, we're doing good. He's like, hey, Billy. I think it was Mr. Burns who was talking to Billy. He was a real tall sales rep. And he goes, hey, do you need anything? He's like, no, I'm good. And I'm standing right next to Billy Corgan, and he does this to me. He puts his hand on my shoulder. Like, hey, yeah, I'm good. I think my buddy here can show me to the bathroom, and I think I'll be good. I was like, yeah, I can do that for you, sir. Cool. So we walked. It was very, it was okay conversation. I was like, hey, so how'd you enjoy the show? He's like, it was good. It's hard to tell nowadays. Sometimes you get these really crazy shows, and sometimes, they're a little laid back. That show was a little bit more laid back. I was like, I could see that. So he went into the bathroom. I didn't go in with him. That's weird. I learned. I didn't have. Just being in the bathroom at that place, at MMR, is always a weird experience for me. I try to avoid going to the bathroom there, because you always meet that one person you haven't seen in a while, and it's like, well, fuck, why would I meet you here? Especially Man About Town. I always, every time I have to take a piss, and it's normal business hours, Bill Weston is in the bathroom. And I'm like, yo, can I see this man just walking by like, hey, Bill, how you doing? Or something like that, just working. Every time I be walking in or going, Bill Weston. Oh, hey, Bill, how you doing? Hey, John, how you doing today? Everything you hear, the man has the aura. He is the man about town. So, you know, he comes out. I walk him. We get him water, and it's showtime. It is showtime for this MM archive session. And I go in the other room, and I think Ryan was with Pierre, handing him notes, and we just watched them. And they performed 3 songs acoustically, James and Billy. It was Perfect, Dorian, and Drum and Fife, and it was just a very well done interview. Just perfect questions. Billy Corgan, if you've ever seen him do an interview, is very outspoken, has a lot on his mind, but he doesn't waste words. He's very precise and to the point, and it's just great to listen to him and hear what he has to say. And one thing about that archive session, which was really cool, was there was a guitar giveaway signed by Billy Corgan, and there was a lady in there. She called earlier. I heard the phone call. Her son was the world's biggest Smashing Pumpkins fan. He died overseas. I think he was in Iraq. Might have been Iran, but he served. He lost his life for the country, and he was buried in Arlington. So they had her name in this poll to do the giveaway. Now, I've seen what they do to ensure that there's no tampering with. I can't go into details how, but I can 100% tell you that when it comes to picking winners for radio station contests, for TV, it's a very elaborate process. It's not a process that can be tampered with. Like, say you hear a sob story and, oh, well, I think this person should win. That is 100% illegal. You can't do that. There's so much stuff that could happen if you do that. Where, like, I've heard stories like radio stations lost their licenses to produce music and had to change formats and stuff like that. So there's a very detailed process where it's randomly done to ensure legally that it was just, hey, luck of the draw. And I heard the phone call, but she didn't bring it up ever since. No one else ever brought it up. But as soon as she won, that lady won the guitar. She went up, she told that story again. In the back of my mind, I remembered it. Because, you just write the name down and you give it. But I remember hearing that audio. I was like, oh my God. She won. What a miracle, And she was crying up there, and she was just like, I'm going to take this guitar to my son's grave in Arlington. I'm so thankful. And that is one of those things. I remember people saying the magic of radio. That's, something like that does not happen every day, and just to see it unfold. She lost her son, biggest fan, and now she got the guitar. It's gonna come full circle, and it randomly drawn. That is, like every now and again you get a blessing from God. Every now and again you get a miracle or something. That was something I'll never forget. Just seeing the pure joy and happiness of her winning that, and continuing her son's legacy. That's a great story. So, with that said, show's over. People are leaving. Billy Corgan. I say goodbye to Jeff. I make it a point. I'm like, yo, man, Mr. Schroeder, it was a pleasure to meet you. He's like, yeah, man, you were great. And we all were taking pictures. So me and Ryan got to take pictures with Billy Corgan. And I forget what happened or what was said, but he said something. He's like, all right, guys, let's make this cool. And then he mentioned like how cool my Black Sabbath shirt was. He's like, hey man, that's a great shirt. All right, guys, look tough, be the cool one. And he said something about me and something about Ryan's. All right, guys, we took the picture, and he was all smiles. He was not mean at all. It was a great experience with him, which I feel fortunate because you hear horror stories, but as far as I'm concerned, Billy Corgan is a great guy in my book. As far as how he treated me and how he was personable with everybody, just great dude. Jeff is just. I'm telling you, meet Jeff. Talk to Jeff Schroeder. He's a great man. So, we take our pictures. I use it as my Facebook cover for years. I'm talking. And, we're walking out. Show's over. Everyone's leaving. And, I say my goodbye, sir. It was a pleasure to meet you, sir. It was a pleasure to meet you. So, I'm in the kitchen, and this blows my mind. This really pissed me off. So we're in the kitchen, and Billy Corgan saying goodbye to everyone. He's like, "Hey guys, thank you so much. All right, bye." So he's talking to his manager. He's like, "Hey man, so I have a rash on my right hand after I've had it after I shook a fan's hand. It's been there for like a week." Walks out the door. Like on his shirt. Yo, I'm like, hell no, this guy has a rash. I'm a germaphobe to an extent. So now I'm like, oh, I got this rash, germs on my shirt and on my hand. And I'm like, fuck, man. Lord have mercy. Just can't win. Anyway, so that was my experience. Not only seeing Marilyn Manson and meeting Billy Corgan and seeing the Smashing Pumpkins, but it was a trip. And that again, back to that radio moment with the lady and her son. Back to just being there, seeing somebody that everyone else loves. I never took that for granted. Like, even if I didn't know the person, I still respected what they did, and I always remembered, like, listen, this person is someone somebody else would die to be in my position to meet. So I never just blew it off. I was always respectful of it. I always understood, like, hey, this is it. So that was concert number 15, and that marks the first change of the life I was living. Most of the concerts I would go to, were months in between, etc. But now, the next concerts become much more consistent, much more commonplace. And, most importantly, the next concert is in my top 5 concerts of all time. AC/DC, MetLife Stadium, New Jersey. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, remember, be smart, be mindful. God bless and be safe. What can I say? Ninja out!